Welcome back to another class on Gemara Journey with Rashi. We are in Masecht Berachot Daf Dalet amud Aleph. This will be part 7 of the Shi'ur, about 7 lines from the bottom, beginning with the words Kid Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi. We are continuing from what we left off in part 6, where we said Shema Yigrom Hachet. So continues the Gemara now, and it says this concept of Shema Yigrom Hachet is like Rabbi Yaakov, the son of Idi. So the Gemara begins. Ki the Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi, like Rabbi Yaakov the son of Idi, the Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi Rami, because Rabbi Yaakov the son of Idi, he brought a contradiction into Pasukim. Kitiv v'hine anochi imach. In one pasuk it's written, and Hashem says, and here I am with you, ushmarticha b'chol asher telech, and I will guard you in all that you go, meaning in all that you do, I will guard you. Uchtiv, then it's written in another pasuk, vayir'a Yaakov me'od. And Yaakov was very much afraid. So we see over here that you have one pasuk that says Yaakov Avinu was afraid, but you have another pasuk that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he protected Yaakov. He promised him that nothing's going to happen. So how can you have two verses which are contradicting one another? So if we look into Torah or Shalom in Otet and Yud, it tells us to look in the back of the book in Bereshit, Perik Chavchet, Pasuk Tetvav, and also Perik Lamed Bet and Pasuk Chet. So let's go see that now. I have it on page 2 in the Sefer Mikraot. He says like this: when Hashem said to Yaakov Avinu, "V'hine anochi imach," why did Hashem have to give this promise to Yaakov Avinu that I am with you? So the commentary explains, "Lifi shaya yirem mi Esav umi Lavan." Because he was afraid from Esav and from Lavan. So that's why Hashem says to Yaakov Avinu, I am with you, ushmarticha b'chol asher telech, and I will guard you in all that you go, meaning in all that you're going to do. Ve'hashavitecha el ha'adama zot, and I will return you to this land. Ki lo azvecha ad asher imatziti et asher dibarti lach. I will not abandon you until I have done what I have spoken to you. So the commentary says, really, for your needs, and it's on you. So basically, this piece over here was, Hashem was telling Yaakov Avinu that whatever I had promised to Avraham Avinu, all the promises that I told Avraham, it was really for you. So therefore you have nothing more to worry about. Now when we go back to Dav Dalet amud Aleph, so let's look back into we have one more pasuk, I apologize. Bereshit Lamed Bet and Pasuk Chet. Bereshit Lamed Bet Pasuk Chet. That's on page Gimel. It says over there, Vayir'a Yaakov me'od, and Yaakov was very much afraid. If we look onto the Mefarish, into the commentary, he says, Mil'el Katuv is written above, She'esav ba'im arba me'od ish, Esav came with 400 men, Li'ilachem im Yaakov, to wage a war with Yaakov. Vayir'a Shema Yehareg. Yaakov was afraid maybe Esav is going to kill someone. Vayitzaer lo. But then it says he was distressed. Why? Shema Yeharog hu et acheru. Yaakov Avinu was afraid maybe he's going to kill somebody else now. When there's war, people die. So let's look back into the verse. Vayir'a Yaakov me'od. Yaakov Avinu was very much afraid from Esav. What was he afraid of? Maybe Esav is going to kill somebody. It could have been Yaakov, it could have been somebody else from his family. But then it says, Vayitzer lo, but at the same time, he was distressed. Yaakov Avinu was pained. Why? Because if he has to start a war, he might kill somebody now. Vayachatz et ha'am asher ito, and he divided the nation into two that were with him. Ve'et hatzon, and also the cattle. Ve'et hatzon, and also the sheep. Ve'et ha'bakar, and also the cattle. Ve'ha'gemalim, and the camels. Lishnim mechanot, into two camps. So we see from over here, very fundamental point, that whenever you do anything, like investment, you divide. Rabotai, don't put everything into one basket. Or if they say that sometimes in Russia, when the people would travel, they would never travel husband and wife back then. Or children, they would always travel separately. Rabotai, this is what Yaakov Avinu was doing over here. When he went out to greet Esav, he was very much afraid. Because maybe somebody's going to be killed. And he was also at the same time afraid because maybe he's going to kill somebody. So what did Yaakov Avinu do? He went ahead and he split up the wives, the camels, the cattle, the sheep. So let's go back now into Daf Dalad Amud Aleph. Now that we have a good understanding of what the verses mean, let's see what the Gemara is saying. When the Gemara says over here, when Rabbi Yaakov, the son of Edi, is bringing us a contradiction, how could it be in one verse it says, Hashem tells him, here I am with you and I will guard you. Why was he telling him this? He was guaranteeing him because he saw that Yaakov Avinu was afraid from Esav and Lavan. But now, where is he going? He's going to greet Esav. So if you're going to greet Esav, why does it say, Vayirah Yaakov me'od? Why does a verse say then Yaakov was very much afraid? I don't get it. Just a second ago in the other verse, we saw clearly Hashem saw that he's afraid. So he told Yaakov, listen, you have nothing more to worry about. I am with you. I will take you there and I will bring you back to this land. Don't worry about nothing. And then it says over there that Yaakov was still afraid. Well, I don't get it. Did he trust Hashem or did he not trust Hashem? Rabotai, if you look into Rashi where it says Vayirah Yaakov, when Yaakov was afraid, what was he afraid? So Rashi is already telling you, Rashi is already leading you on to what the Gemara is going to give you the answer. Vayirah Yaakov, and Yaakov was afraid. Why? Shema, maybe achar haftacha chatati. Maybe after the promise, after the guarantee that Hashem gave him, maybe I sinned. Yaakov Avinu, Rabotai, the only forefather that had all tzaddikim, the only one that was completely, came from a father was completely Jewish, which was Yitzchak. Yaakov Avinu, Rabotai, Ishtam Ohel Yoshvim. Ishtam, the other way around, Ishtam Yoshev Ohalim. He was a man of simplicity that would sit in the tent and learn Torah all day. After Hashem had promised him, he was afraid. Yes, do you know why? Because maybe after the reassurance, like we saw with David HaMelech yesterday, maybe after the reassurance, he said, maybe I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a sin that's going to make me lose that promise. Shema achar haftacha chatati. Maybe after this reassurance, this guarantee that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me, I sinned. And like it's taught in the Baraita, shehached gorem, because the sin causes, she'en ha'havtacha mitkayemet. A sin causes that the guarantee that Hashem says is not going to be fulfilled. How scary is this thought? We go on Rosh Hashanah, we go on Yom Kippur, we think we're good now. Are we afraid maybe throughout the year we're going to sin and it's going to make us lose Chas v'Shalom what Hashem had decreed the best things on us? Do we think that? Or do we continue with our lives? Shema yigrom hachet. Maybe the sin can be the cause. Before we saw in the previous class that maybe the sin was going to be the cause of David HaMelech losing his full reward with the other tzaddikim in the world to come. Over here, Rashi is telling us another thing sin can do. It can make a person lose the guarantee that HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised him. You know, in fact, it just reminds me of a Gemara in Masecht Shabbat. Don't recall the Daf, but it's brought down Masecht Shabbat. If a person, maybe not in Masecht Shabbat. 1 second. No, in Masecht Shabbat you have over there. This is okay. There's two things I want to say. In Masecht Shabbat you have over there that if a person enters Omen Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Nolam Namel Ma'id Barach, when you say Omen Yehei Shmei Rabba with all your strength, Hakadosh Baruch Hu is able to rip up a decree of 70 bad years. 70 bad years, Rabotai. If you are able to go and say Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach La'olam with kavanah, with all your strength, I used to go to Monsey Yeshiva. The yeshiva was called Rabbi Bachar's Yeshiva. I think it's Or Yisrael. My brother-in-law used to be there. I went when I would go to his house with my wife. When I would go to his house in Monsey, we would daven in that yeshiva. I can't explain to you what davening is. When the Chazan, he wouldn't be saying, no, not like that. He would say Kaddish with such passion. And then because you can't say it louder than him, so he would have to say it loud also. Because as halakha, you can't be louder than the Chazan. So therefore he would have to be loud, and you should know, I forgot the name, I think it's Rabbi Baruch maybe. I forgot the name, there was a Rabbi Bukhari Rabbi over there. When he would say Yehi Shmei Rabba, the whole yeshiva, Yehi Shmei, it was thunder, like the building was shaking. Why? Because the Gemara says B'chol koicho. Right, the halacha says B'chol koicho. Don't make it seem, abnormal. But what means B'chol kocho? It could be with all your strength from inside. You don't have to scream obnoxiously. But if the whole issue was doing, they weren't doing like, just no, they were really, amen, Yehi Shmei. Like, be'emet, they felt it. Over here, Rabotai, unfortunately, in the places where we daven, it's not like that, right? It's like this. Yehi Shmei Rabban Barach La'olam. We're not, Rabotai. Listen, I'm not here to Chas v'Shalom criticize the community. But there's a yeshivish way of davening and there's a Baal Batish way of davening. When you're down with the yeshiva, it's completely different. When you're down with the Baal Batim, it's completely different. It all goes after the Chazanim. It's very, very critical to have the right Chazanim, Rabotai. If he davens with Kavanah, everybody davens with Kavanah. He don't daven with Kavanah. Now, I'm not going to say you can't daven with Kavanah, but it's much harder because he's the one who builds the momentum for us. In any event, why am I telling you this? Because just like you have this concept in Masecht Shabbat, that when a person says Yehi Shmei Rabba, he could rip up a decree of 70 years, there's also another concept that when a person uses foul language, the Gemara brings down, a person goes to the chuppah. Everybody knows, the Gemara says, everybody knows why a kala gets married to a chatan and what's going to happen on the night of their wedding. Everybody knows. They're going to be together. What do you think they're going to do? Look at each other. But if somebody says, today, she's going to have the time of her life. Just like that. He said, what did he say? Nothing. He didn't even curse. He just lost 70 years of good decree. Do you understand what foul language can do? It's not the Rabotai. That's a sin. Speaking in a foul language, it's a sin. People don't see that. People don't realize it. They think, okay, I put on tefillin, I daven, I give tzedakah, and why aren't things going good for me? Look at the way you speak. Look what Yaakov Avinu is telling us over here. Shema achar haftacha chatati. Maybe after the guarantee I sinned. Maybe. By us, Rabotai, it's not maybe. It's we sinned. We sin. Don't tell me you are now Yaakov Avinu. Why? Kedetalik was taught in the Baraita. Shachet gorem she'en haftacha mitkayemet, because the sin causes that the haftacha, that the guarantee, does not become fulfilled. Just think about it, Rabotai. Don't worry about running to finishing the Gemara Masecht Berachot. Think about the concept. Apply what you learn. So let's see back into the Gemara. Because Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi, like Rabbi Yaakov the son of Idi. The Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi, because Rabbi Yaakov the son of Idi, he brought a contradiction, Kitiv. I'm not going to translate the pasuk because we already did. I'm just going to say it in the Hebrew. Let's level up. So we see the verse is contradictory. No. Amar, because Yaakov Avinu said, Shema yigrom hachet. Maybe the cause for losing this guarantee will be the sin I could actually have done after Hashem promised me. So we see over here, Rabotai, it is not a contradiction. We see again over here the whole concept of Shema Yigrom Hachet. Maybe the cause for one losing reassurance, a guarantee which Hashem guaranteed him, or even the reward like we saw yesterday, might be a sin that a person can commit. How careful one has to be. Continues the Gemara, and the Gemara brings now, like was taught in the Breita, Ad Yavor Amech Hashem, until your nation Hashem is going to pass. Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita, until your nation that you acquired is going to pass. The Gemara says, we'll do the pasuk, just give me 1 second. The Gemara says, what does it mean? Ad Yavor Amech Hashem. What does that mean? What is the first verse of the? What is the first part of the verse coming to teach us? Ad Yavor Amech Hashem. Zo bi'arishon. That is the first time when they came into Eretz Yisrael. Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita. Until your nation, this that you acquire is going to pass. What is this going on? Zo bi'a shni'ah. This is the second time when they came. Now, before we continue, let's go ahead and do the Pesukim in the back of the book. In Ot Chaf, in the Torah Or Shalom, he tells us, look into Parsha Shemot, Perek Tet Vav, Pasuk Tet Zayin. Perek Tet Vav, Pasuk Tet Zayin. I have it on page Dalet in the Sefer HaMikraot. He says like this, Tipol Alehem Emata V'Pachad, let fear and tremble, let basically fear fall on them. Bigdol Zorecha, Yidemu Kavin, with your great hand, they should be silent like a rock. Ad Yavor Amech Hashem, until your nation Hashem is going to pass. Ad Yavor Amzukanit, until this stage that you acquired is going to pass. Comes the Mefarish and he explains, Mil'el Katuv, it's written above, Shamu Amim, that the nations heard, Hanisim shall kriyat iyam suv, that they heard the miracles that happened in the Red Sea, Yirgazun. So let's try to read this without the parentheses. So he says, Shamu Hamim Yirgazun, the nations they heard and they trembled. What does it mean, Emata, when it says Tipol Alahem Emata, let fear fall on them? So the commentary says, what's Emata? Al Harchokim, the ones that were far away. What's Pachad? What's Upachad and tremble, and they should tremble? Al Kiruvim, and the people the nations that were close, meaning close to the miracle. Yidemu, what means Yidemu Ka'amin? What does it mean? That they should be silent? So he tells you, language, Lashon Shtika, it's an expression of silence. What means Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita? What does it mean the word Kanita? Chavivit yoter misharumot. Right? It's more dear to you than other nations. Kechavitz hakanui b'damim ikarim. Like an object when a person acquires with a lot of money. So the word of here when it says Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita, meaning this dear nation. Right? This chashuv, this important nation. That's important from other nations. So let's just see the pasuk. It says like this. Tipol alahem emata v'pachad. Let fear fall on them and trepidation. And the nations, they should fear. The emata is going on the ones that were further away. V'pachad is going on the ones that were closer. B'gedol zorecha, with the strength of your hand. Yidemu ka'aven, they should be silent like a stone. Ad yavor amech Hashem, until your nation Hashem is going to pass. Ad yavor amzukanita, until the nation, this that you have acquired. Why does it have to use the word of acquisition? Because when a person loves something which is dear, he spends a lot of money in it. So basically, we were dear in Hashem's eyes, more than the other nations. So let's go back to Daf Dalet Amud Aleph. Let's see over here with, let's see back into the Gemara one more time. Kid the Talik was taught in the Breita. Ad Yavor Amech Hashem, Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita. Ad Yavor Amech Hashem Zo Bia Rishona. That is the first time when they came. Rashi says, what is the Bia Rishona? Sheba'u B'imei Yehoshua, that they came in the days of Yehoshua. Look into Ot Dalet in the Haggaot Habach. He says, you have to add the words Sheba'u La'ar, that they came to the land of Israel. So let's go back inside the Rashi. Bia Rishona, when the first time when they came, Shibba'u La'arz, when they came to the land of Israel, Bimei Yehoshua. So whenever you see the verse Ad Ya'avor Amech Hashem, because why did it really have to repeat itself 2 times? I'm sorry, not why it has to repeat itself 2 times. Why did you have to say Ad Ya'avor Amech Hashem and then Ad Ya'avor Am Zukanita? So it tells you like this. The first time it said it was going on the days of Yehoshua. But the second time when it said Ad Yavor Am Zukanita, it is going on the Bia Shnia, on the second coming. Listen to this carefully. Ki Sha'alu Migalut Bavel Bime Ezra, when they went up from the exile of Bavel in the days of Ezra. So now we can understand when it says Ad Yavor Amech Hashem, Ad Yavor Am Zukanita, Ad Yavor Amech Hashem, that's referring to the first time when Yehoshua brought the Jewish people into the land of Israel. When it says Ad Yavor Am Zukanita, it's going on the days of Ezra when he took out the Jewish people from Bavel, from when they were in exile in Bavel, to Eretz Israel. The Gemara asks a question. Mikan Amru Chachamim. From here, not the question, the Gemara makes a statement. Mikan Amru Chachamim. From here the Chachamim said, Ru'uyim hayul Yisrael asod lahem nes. The Jewish people were fit that a miracle should have been performed for them Bimei Ezra, in the days of Ezra, Kiderech shenasa lahem bimei Yehoshua ben Nun, just like it was done for them in the days of Yehoshua, the son of Nun. Look into Rashi, Ru'uyim hayu. Look into the Beit Chadash in Ot Hei. The Beit Chadash says, in Dibra Matchil Ru'uyim hayu Yisrael. You got to add the word Yisrael. So he said like this: Ru'uyim hayu Yisrael le'asod lahem nes lavo biyad ramah. What miracle was the Jews when the days of Ezra? What miracle were they fit for? The miracle that they were fit for, in order to come from Babel into Eretz Israel, they were supposed to come with a strong hand, with an outstretched hand of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just like it was in the days of Yehoshua. Eila, so the Rashi is already telling you what happened. So why didn't they have that merit to come with Hashem's strong hand? Eila shigaram hachet. Again, Rabotai. Rather, because sin was the cause of them losing the stretched out hand, the strong hand of Hashem, bringing them from exile into Eretz Yisrael. V'lo halchu eila birshut Koresh. They went into Israel only with the permission of Koresh. V'chol yemei malchei pras, in all the days of the kings of Persia. They were subservient to them, leKoresh v'leAchashverosh, to Koresh and Achashverosh, and also to Daryavash, the last one. So we see from Rabotai, what happened over here? Like this. When it says Ad Yavor Amech Hashem, Ad Yavor Am Zukanita, Ad Yavor Amech Hashem is going in the days of Yehoshua. How did Yehoshua come in to Eretz Yisrael? Biyad Ramah, with a strong hand. Hashem brought them inside. They didn't have to take permission from nobody. Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita. But the second time when the verse says Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita, that second time was referring to the days of Ezra. But how did they come in? They came in only with the permission of Koresh. He said, now you guys can go from Babel, you guys can go up to Eretz Yisrael. 1 second, but why weren't they led by HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Why did Hashem do for them the miracle just like He did for Yehoshua and the people then? Why? Because, what do we answer? Eila shigaram hachet. Because the cause of them losing the hand of Hashem, being able to make them come into Eretz Yisrael, because of the sin, they lost that merit. So again, we see over here another point, another teaching, what sin can do to a person. I want to make sure that there's no, okay. So let me just do this Rashi one more time. The Jewish people, it was fit for them that a miracle should be performed for them, that they should come in with a strong hand into the land of Israel. But rather, why didn't they have that merit? Shegaram hachet, because the sin caused them. V'lo halchu ela birshut Koresh. They only went with the permission of Koresh. V'chol yimei malchei pras nishtabdu lahem. And all the days of the kings of Persia, they were enslaved to them. LeKoresh v'la'achashverosh, to Koresh and Achashverosh, u'ledrevash ha'acharon, and to Dariavash, the last one. So we see over here what sin can do. Rabotai, Allah doesn't have to be said. You want to see bracha, you want to see hatzlacha, you want to see everything good? Go in the ways of Hashem. Stay away from sin. There is a sefer that I started doing, Chafetz Chaim and Mishle. I'm going to try to see if I can do it. I didn't get a chance to come around it yet. There is it's going to be part 3, but another, not part 3, I'm saying that's going to be the third shiur. Very strong musar that the Chafetz Chaim brings over there. I don't want to get into it now because it's not the place. But if it comes out, just listen to it. Bezrat Hashem b'leneder. It's very sad, Rabotai, what's going on today. With everything around us stealing our attention, making us do averos. And now you might say, Rabbi, but I'm not doing no avero. But Rabbi, I'm not looking where I'm not supposed to. I'm not cursing. I'm not cheating. I'm not doing nothing wrong, Rabbi. People don't realize that there's nothing more greater than doing Bittul Torah. Whoever said that we speak about people sleeping with other married women, or people looking at things they're not supposed to, whoever spoke about that? Nobody. When we say sin, Rabotai, Bittul Torah is a sin. Now, I'm not talking about when you're with your wife or with your children or you're busy doing other things. I'm talking about when you're able to come to learn Torah and you don't. Or when you're already class of learning Torah and you're on your phone. That, Rabotai, is Bittul Torah. That is an Aveiro. So you ask yourself, wait a minute, why is this not happening? Why is things not going my way? Why am I not this? Why am I not? Don't ask why. Ask how can I change? And that is the key. To be consistent in Avodat Hashem, you will see great results. You know, there's a whole thing that if you take a quarter today, and you just double what you put from the day before, it only becomes more and more. If you pay, let's say you put 1 quarter today, 2 quarters tomorrow, so tomorrow you have to add 1 more, but plus what you put the other day also. So the following day you're going to put 3. The following day you're going to put 4. The following day it's already $1. The following day it's already $2. The following day it's $3. So every day you're adding more and more and more. When you look at it throughout the year, you made a lot of money, but what you do, you only did little by little by little, and you actually added to what you already had. So if you had $1, so today is 1 plus another $1. So today is $2. 2 plus another $1. $3. 3 plus another $4. It just accumulates. Why am I saying this? When a person serves the Kadosh Baruch Hu, when a person has this consistency in Avodat Hashem, it's not that you just did. It's not that you just learned and that's it. No. When you learn well, you're able to daven better. When you daven better, you're able to perform mitzvot good. Everything builds off from the last mitzvah that you did. That's why the Chazal tells in Pirkei Avot, mitzvah goreret mitzvah. One mitzvah brings on another mitzvah, and another mitzvah brings on another mitzvah. But the other way around, Rabbota, is also true. Avera goreret avera. A sin brings another sin, and that sin brings another sin. You have to know how to stop yourself in the middle of the tracks. A very, 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 very long time ago, Rabbota, I'm talking about maybe, 18 years now maybe. I saw a Hasidic sefer that he says, I'm not telling you you're allowed to lose lol in Chas v'Shalom. I'm just letting you know what I read. He said that if Chas v'Shalom a person came to do Zerah Levatala, or Chas v'Shalom a person stumbled on pornography, or Chas v'Shalom he fell in an Aveira, he says, immediately do teshuvah, whatever he brought over there, that whatever clothing you were wearing, get rid of it, throw it in the garbage, so you shouldn't have any hint of the Aveira the clothes that you did. But then he said, pick up something and say a bracha with kavana. Why? What happened? What's all this? What is this? He said, I'll tell you why. He said, because now that you did a sin, the next thing is another sin, and another sin, and another sin. It's only going to become worse and worse and worse, because now you feel bad. So you say, okay, let me do it again. Let me do what's going to happen. And then it's more and more and more. But like this, you stop yourself in the middle of the track, and now you start with another mitzvah. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam. You begin with and now it's mitzvah, gureret mitzvah, and you have prevented the avera. Rabotai, Shema, maybe they were afraid that if they would do a sin, according in David HaMelech's world, it was going to make him lose the full reward with the other tzaddikim latid lavo. In Yaakov Avinu's world, Rabotai, he was afraid after the guarantee, because of the sin, the guarantee he was going to get nullified. And with Yehoshua and Ezra, the reason why the people, when they came in the times of Ezra, why they were not able to come biyad ramah with a strong hand of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, was because the Jewish people sinned. Look what sin can do. You can tell me all you want, Rabotai. Hashem loves you. Nobody said not. But there are repercussions that a person has to face. Somebody one time told me, said, Rabbi, sometimes you give these musar shmushim there, you don't think they're very powerful? I don't know about it being. I don't know about it being powerful. One thing I know is that I can't tell you otherwise. I can't tell you what's not written. Say no, maybe you should do it. That Hashem loves you and everything's going to be okay. Like, let me tell you something. To tell you everything's going to be okay, I'm lying. To tell you Hashem loves you, that's the end. Hashem does love you. That's why He punishes, because He loves. Like a father, he sees the son doing something wrong, he punishes him in order for him to wake up. Of course He loves you. But you know what I asked him? I said, let me ask you a question. What are you going to do with the principle, with the 13 principles of Rambam, where he says clearly over there, I'm just looking for my sitter. Can't find out. That's right. Where he says clearly over there that to the king they will get rewarded, and the Rishaim they will get punished. What are you going to do with the 13 principles of faith? That he doesn't want to answer. Rabotai, nobody's telling people to give up on life, to give up on Hashem, to give up on Avodat Hashem. Nobody's saying that. In the Musar classes, it's all about growing. I don't know if you guys ever go work out, or if you guys ever went to try out for a team, or if you ever had a coach that trained you in anything. The greater the coach, the greater the athlete. If you have a weak coach that makes everything easier on you, so the athlete, everything he's gonna do is gonna be easy. So when he gets out there in the real world to play the game, he'll collapse. He's gonna fall. One push, he's done. But the real coaches, they scream, they yell, they put weight on them. Why? Because they want to make it as hard as possible. So now when they go out to the real world, meaning when they go out and play against somebody, they're like peanuts in their eyes. This is the whole point of Musar. The point of Musar over here, Rabotai, is not to chas v'shalom, tell a person that's it, give up on life, throw in the white towel. Chas v'shalom. The point of Musar is to strengthen ourselves in Avodah Hashem and to educate ourselves that it's doable. We can do it. All you gotta say is, Hashem, I want to become better. I want to change. Please help me. Rabotai, see the growth. See the success. It's not, Rabotai, it's not my words, it's Chazal. Shema Yigrom Ached. You don't realize how much, Rabotai, a sin can do. It can damage everything. There is where is this? Forgot which. It's a Shulchan Aruch, but it's not a regular Shulchan Aruch. I think it's like the Achronim. They bring the Shulchan Aruch. I forgot, was it Rabbi Shlomo Gra? I forgot. Maybe it's Shulchan Aruch. Kitzur, it's Ashkenazi. He says over there, people don't realize that when a person Chas V'Shalom does Zerah Levatala, spilling semen in vain, he thinks he's doing nothing wrong. Do you know, with that one Aveira, you can lose your destined wife. You can lose your Parnasa Chas V'Shalom. Lo Olein Rabotai, children can die in a parent's lifetime, Chas V'Shalom. For what? Just because you wanted to have 2 minutes of pleasure? But do we see it like that, Rabotai? No. Is anybody going to speak about it? No. For what, Rabotai? For what? So then you're not going to call him tomorrow. For what, Rabotai? Why should I speak about these things? But I'm very happy I'm doing the Gemara. I'm happy it's being recorded. Anybody who wants to watch it can watch it. Anybody who wants to document it, it's documented. You can see with your own eyes. Shema Yigrom Hachet. Rabotai, have a great day.